the women's restroom layout is how I envisioned or how the memories are as a kid. So I feel like when I was 5, 6 years old, I must have went into the women's restroom instead of the men's restroom, and
Not
I saw the
realizing.
spirit, and it was super. It was weird. It was creepy. It was fun, but I was trying to recreate it this time or like figure it out this time, but it didn't get exactly there.
Wow. Yeah, we both went there as kids to the
Mhm.
Winchester Mystery House. Did you grow up around here or anything? Or
I'm born and raised LA
okay.
area. I want to say my family must have had like a little vacation or something to San Jose when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So that was definitely around the time when I went up there and I saw stuff. But it was, yeah, I've
Yeah.
always been an LA guy.
And that makes sense because it's a super touristy spot, and so
Yeah,
like, like 30
I'm a
years
big
ago or
Erik
whatever,
fan.
when you were here, I'm sure it was a really hot spot for people from out of town.
For sure, for sure. We can go there or the Cheesecake Factory. All right,
Or
let's
or
go to the
great
yeah.
or Great America.
You know what? I really want to go to Great America. You know where I want to go that like, we just did it just didn't work out this time, but Gilroy Gardens. Have you guys been
Oh
to
yeah,
Gilroy Gardens?
I've never been.
Yeah, it's actually really nice.
I've heard
I-
it's real cool.
Yeah, I
It's
was to go
more
to the
yeah.
Gilroy Garlic Festival one time, but then
Oh,
I
nice.
realized you had to pay for parking, pay for admission, and then pay for food. So my buddy and
Oh,
I just went to the flea market and got garlic fries.
Even better, even
Oh
better.
yeah,
I'm gonna take
free
my
park,
kids to a park and tell
three
them it was
dollars
Gilroy
parking, I think.
Gardens.
What was that?
I'm gonna take my kids in the future to a park and be like, "Oh, this is Gilroy Gardens. This is Great America." They downsized, but we're in America and it's great. And there's a fountain. There we go.
Hell yeah. What is up, you guys? Welcome to Hypothetical Comedy. I am Funky Sam Medina,
and I'm Athena Rodriguez.
and we're here with comedy superstar Erik Escobar. What's up, Erik? How you been, man?
Hello, superstar. That's what they used to call wrestlers back in the days.
They
You weren't a
did. They called
WWE
them.
wrestler.
I think they still do.
Are they? They are superstars in
Yeah.
my heart and yours.
They just eliminated the word diva.
I know Diva's out of there. They can now say hospital. Before they couldn't say hospital. They had to
Oh,
say medical facility. They would
in the
take you to
Triple H era, they can say a lot more things. I heard Michael Cole reference Pro Wrestling Gorilla recently on commentary.
Oh, so
Yeah.
growing up in LA, that's what actually got me back into wrestling.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I liked it when I was a kid. I think I fell out of it in high school, and then I was moving to NorCal, and as a little like gift, my buddy Chris was like, "Well, if you're going away, I'm going to buy you a ticket to PWG. I think you'll like it. It seems up your alley." So we drove to Reseda, and after that, it was wild because that move to NorCal was a little tough because I was living in the Redwoods. I was a little alone, but that's when I really started rewatching old wrestling videos, getting to indie wrestling,
Hell
and
yeah.
yeah, I'm a huge wrestling fan now, and PWG is a
Wow.
big part of that.
That's crazy. So she like started liking wrestling because of the pipe bomb in 2011.
For
But then
sure.
but then that just opened the door for me to get a bunch of PWG DVDs. And now
Yeah.
she fell in love with it
Oh my
because of
gosh. I
PWG.
love PWG.
Yeah.
That's like one of my top favorites.
And all the people that we watched in that time frame, early 2010s, 2013s,
They're
whatever,
killing it now.
they're all in the big companies. It's crazy.
Yeah. The one that I went to that got me back into it was an event called Black Coal Sun. And it
Oh,
was like Adam
nice.
Cole's like send off event. But the lineup
Wow.
was Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Ricochet, ACH. Oh my lord, who else was in there? Keith Lee might have been in there.
Probably.
Trevor Lee, now in NXT, now Cameron Grimes. Yeah, it was wild. Oh, Christopher Daniels, you know what I mean? Like all these guys were, and they were just having fun. Young Bucks, of course, Kenny Omega, like woo.
Wow.
Damn,
What
that is
year?
so cool.
What year are you talking?
2014, 2015, I want to say.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good era.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It
that's
was-
like
it was
right
great.
there, right
Yeah.
on the cusp.
Johnny Gargano might have been there still.
Organo was there. Well, he so a little awkward, but I remember Candice LeRae was doing like a Disney gimmick. She like came out and had like something like Disney with her. And I'm a big Disney guy, so I was like, cool. And I fell in love with her and her tag team. But her tag team, I guess we don't gotta talk about it. But I was a big fan of them for a long time. I was like, this is brilliant. As someone who like who hasn't watched wrestling for a while, it was just very like sports entertainery and like funny and dumb. And now I'm like, oh, we can't talk about Mr. JR anymore.
Yeah. Not that JR. We got another
Not
JR
that
to talk
JR.
about.
We got another JR.
That was
Yeah.
the
Both are
same for
equally
me.
as awkward.
Yeah, it was the same for her. She actually
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
fell in love with Candice LeRae, and then I started really enjoying Johnny Gargano. I was like, so those
Yeah.
were my top two that I really loved. And then we what was it? WrestleCon. WrestleCon was in San Jose for the WrestleMania and everything.
2015.
But they were both
Okay.
at the shows like Evolve and everything. And I was like, oh my God, Candace is here. Oh my God, Johnny's here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That whole like time I found out that they were dating, and I was like, my favorites are dating each other. I was so happy. It was so
Something
weird.
something that I found sort of realized that was hilarious is y'all are familiar with like Southern California areas, you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Like Wood or whatever. So when Candice LeRae is a face, she's Candice LeRae from Anaheim, California. When she's a heel, she's Candice LeRae from Riverside, California.
Oh.
Riverside's a little more like,
A little more
whoa.
rough.
Ooh.
So depending, like if she's face or heel, she'll be either from like Anaheim, like land of Disneyland, or Riverside, or it's a little more like, all right, this isn't as Disney.
The other side of the
I
tracks.
never knew that.
Exactly.
I never knew that either. The highlight of what Athena was saying was she was wearing a Candice LeRae shirt. The one that looks like the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
But Candice wasn't. It was Evolve, so Candice wasn't even like scheduled because she wasn't in Evolve.
Okay.
And so at the end, so Candice was sitting at Johnny's merch table, and I was like, "Go talk to her, go talk to her." And she walked up to Candice, and Candice was telling us that when we walked in the door, Johnny pointed her out and said, "Hey, look, she's wearing your shirt."
Gotta feel good. Gotta feel good. And did you find out at that WrestleCon that they were an item, or did you know like?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
found
Awesome.
out
Like, that's cool.
then
Like,
that
what?
they were an item,
You-
and
you-
I was
you-
like,
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then on top of that whole weekend, she ended up buying a Johnny Gargano shirt from Candice, and then at WrestleCon, she bought a Candice shirt from Johnny.
From Johnny.
Yeah,
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
it was the best.
Yeah,
I was so
backwards.
happy. We got to meet so many freaking wrestlers and people, like Havoc. I don't know if you're
Jessica Havoc. Yeah.
Yeah. She was just in the lobby, and we were just hanging out with her for like 20 minutes during the show, just chit chatting and bullshitting.
Mhm.
That was
I
super
want to
fun.
say she's dating
Callahan.
for a while. Sammy Callahan. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. They're an item.
Yeah, she was telling us all about the relationship too.
Yeah.
They live in
Talking
Ohio.
about
Is that where they
Sweetie
are?
It's funny because
was
she kept
and
saying
Time.
Sammy, and at the time he was in NXT as Solomon
NXT.
Crow.
Yeah.
And so it took me a few seconds to realize who she meant.
That's funny. That's hilarious. I used to work for Lucha Underground, just only for a season.
Wow.
But,
What did you do for them?
Sammy Callahan was in there. He's doing like a thumbs up, thumbs down gimmick. And then after that wrapped up, I started working for Women of Wrestling. And
Oh wow. No pun intended.
one of the wrestlers. So it's kind of cool to be like, oh my God, I worked with you and you're dating you, but now I got to work with you, but I don't get to work with you. It was really kind of cool to see both sides.
Wow. That's like a comedy. Not necessarily dating, but like when you know, like, oh, I'm really good friends with this comic, and I didn't know you knew that comic, or things like that.
Yeah.
The connections, or two comics you're really good friends with, and you realize they don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
You can meet someone and like look them up on Instagram or Facebook and be like, how do we have like 100 mutual friends? I didn't know I had 100 friends. I thought I knew like 5 people. How do we have like 100 people in common? It's like, oh, I know this guy from this guy, and I travel over here, and she was a friend of this person, and
Right.
it's cool. I love it.
Yeah. There's this one comic who I became friends with, years back, and we were doing a wrestling podcast together, and he's like, we came up in the same scene. How did we not meet?
That's funny. It's hilarious. I think it's one of those things where there's a real beauty to like, you can go to probably any major city in the country, and you might not know someone, but you definitely got like a friend of a friend. You know what I mean? Like you meet someone who definitely is a degree of separation from you.
Yeah, especially now.
So cool.
So since the Zoom pandemic.
Oh yeah, everyone from every part of the world. Even. There are people in Canada where I'm like, how do I know you? Or how do I know you? It's so crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't know me in LA, but I'm huge in South Africa. Like, how did that become a thing?
Wow, that's interesting.
Not really, but you know what I mean? Just like I do South Africa Zoom shows, and now I'm like, oh, I know everyone there. That's great.
That is awesome. You can go to South Africa and you'll be treated like royalty. Like, oh my god,
Love
Erik
that. I'm
Escobar is
getting
here.
a 9-minute guest set. You know what I'm talking about? Well, maybe even a 10. We'll see.
Tight 9.
Yeah.
So you grew up in LA. Like, what part of LA did you grow up in? Like, how what was life like for you?
So I grew up in the South Bay, specifically Gardena, close to Carson, close to Torrance, close to Compton, if you know any of those areas.
Okay, so little rougher areas.
You know what? It was a little rougher, but when you're a kid, you kind of it's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're not like, oh, I'm in the ghetto area, I'm there last year. You're just like, oh, this is what it was. What I really loved about growing up in Gardena is I look back on it, and I went to like a preschool, a middle school, elementary school, junior high, where we had a little bit of everything. Like it wasn't really like, oh, those people hang out with these people hang out with everything. Like everyone was friends. So you had like a lot of Black people, Mexicans, Samoans, Asian, Chinese, Korean, Filipino, Tongans, Pacific Islanders, and we all were friends. And I think I really didn't look at like race or culture as a big thing until I got to high school, when I was like, oh, you're that? Oh, okay, you hang out with those people and this. So Gardena, I'm really grateful for that. That everyone was there, everyone hung out, and everyone was just a person. I really loved it. Also, Hawaiian food for miles. Oh man, if you want a good deep fried spam musubi or some oxtail soup, go to Gardena, California, and gain 10 pounds, and it'll be great. It'll be wonderful.
I'm here for it. I'm ready.
I am down. Absolutely, hell yeah. So you said you moved to the Northern California. Was that like out of high school, or what was that about?
So I moved to NorCal in probably 2014, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a little later, definitely a few years out of college. I went through a really big breakup at the time. 2014 was a weird year. I was doing a lot of comedy, and there were about 10, 11, close to a dozen comics who passed away, all kind of in the scene.
Wow.
So all like really good friends of mine. A few maybe not so good friends. You see them, once a week, twice a week. So to lose them over this period was crazy. So between the breakup and losing a bunch of people, I just really needed to switch up. Ended up moving to Occidental, Sebastopol, if you know that area.
I don't even know that, and I live in Northern California.
It's like West Sonoma. So if you're in San Francisco, the Bay Area, you go up an hour, a little bit to the west, and yeah, that's where I was. And I loved it. I miss it. What's weird though is a lot of people think Northern California, they think San Francisco, they think the big city, they think stuff like that. But I was very much like in the redwoods. Like it took us 20 minutes to get to a closest gas station. You know what I'm talking about?
Wow.
So it was definitely different, but that's when I think NorCal, I think trees, I think wilderness, I think that kind of area. And a lot of people think NorCal and they're like, oh, Oakland, and you're like, hey, a little different. Yeah, but yeah, sure, why not? Oakland, yeah.
If you want to get into where people live, then yes, absolutely.
Exactly. But I loved it because technically Tracy that's pretty firm Northern California, right? Or is that
we're just out of the Bay Area, but we are Northern California, absolutely.
What's Tracy by? I feel like I've heard of Tracy. I know Tracy, but what's it close to?
We're like between like San Francisco and Sacramento. I don't know if that needs a picture for you.
No, for sure.
We're about an hour. We're about an hour from San Jose, hour from Oakland, hour from San Francisco, and about 2.5 from Sacramento.
Perfect. I got you. I feel like it's weird because when you think of NorCal, it's Southern California. People are like, oh, are you from LA or San Diego? You know what I mean? It's like kind of like there's not much variant to that. You can be from somewhere else. People think, oh, it's like one of two areas. When you think of Northern California, it's like, wait, are you like Humboldt or are you like San Francisco?
How northern are you?
There's NorCal is a big stretch of land. Like, what is that?
Because there's super Northern California, yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what's wild is I remember I still travel a lot between NorCal and SoCal, and I feel like I always used to think Sacramento was super far up, but it's almost just as far as like San Francisco if you're going from LA, because San Francisco you got to like take off the 5 and go down the 580 for a minute. Sacramento you just hit it when you're on the 5. So it's not just like everywhere's on the coast. Some places are more inland, some places are farther out.
Yeah,
and it's I love it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I would imagine that you'd hit Sacramento a lot sooner than San Francisco.
I think, depending how you root it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So when you moved to Northern California, you're already doing comedy. How long had you been doing comedy at that point?
So it's kind of a tricky question because I did my first open mic when I was it was 2008.
Oh
So
wow.
2008 was kind of when I started, but I probably did stand up a handful of times between 2008 and 2011, I would say. And 2011 is when I really got serious about it. So I was doing comedy, since about '08, but really got serious in 2011. Was probably doing about 4 years before I moved to Northern California. And I really loved the Northern California scene. The Northern California scene for me was more kind of like like Sally Tomatoes up in Northern Park. We had a place in
Yeah.
there's a place called Spanky's in Katati. They would have open mics. You would have, I think it was called Hot Monk. They had one in Sebastopol. They have one in Petaluma. So those areas were really where I was kind of doing a lot of comedy. And every once in a while, I would drive down to San Francisco, Oakland. But I want to say my car got broken into pretty quickly into moving to NorCal.
Oh
So
wow.
after it got broken into in San Francisco, I was like, you know what? I will go to San Francisco, but I'm not going to like I'll go to other places before there if I have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And we always worry about stuff like that in San Francisco too. So
Yeah.
far the worst that happened is a bum took a shit next to our car.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we were scared because he was in between our car and another car, and he kept going like this.
Yeah, he kept looking.
And we're like, is he waiting for us to leave to like hurt our car or something? And I got really like scared to leave, but I was like, look, we're just gonna have to go. We gotta go. And
Just
so
like
we
him.
left. And when we came back, I was so scared we were gonna have broken like glass next to the car. Nope, just a big turd where he was.
By the way, I apologize for that years ago.
Yeah, he was waiting for us to leave. What was that?
Okay. By the way, I'm really sorry about that. I apologize. Yeah, it was. You got to go, just like you said.
Yeah, sometimes. That was the first time we met you, though. No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was
an honor.
It was the best mic we've ever been to together, actually. I would say.
The tenderloin.
I guess besides being a little bit worried about your car, what was the culture shock for you like going from LA to the Northern California scene?
That's a good question. I feel like where I was living in Northern California, it was definitely more like out in the boonies, middle of nowhere. So LA is one of those places where if you want, Thai food at 3 a.m., you can get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to like, if you're bored, you want to do something, hey, go out. There's a million things to do. You can go to an open mic, you can go to a show, you can go to a bunch of fun spots. Where I was living in Northern California was a lot more in the middle of nowhere. So it really was kind of like, oh, like after 6, 7 o'clock, everything's closed. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys want to hang out and party, like you can bring drinks home or play a board game, but you can't like there's not like a club next door, you know what I mean? So it was interesting for me to experience that, just because I went from one place that was very open to one place that was more like, hey, this is kind of all we got.
Yeah, and I would imagine like in LA the mics are a lot more plentiful, there's accessible, and traveling's probably a little easier.
A little bit. I feel like LA, everyone thinks there's so much stage time, and there is, but we're such a driving town, you gotta like go to it. So you can hit 3 mics in a night, but you're driving an hour in between every mic. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. Where San Francisco, especially the city, I feel like if you're in San Francisco, you can probably hit 2 or 3 things really quickly because they're all like
absolutely can. Mm-hmm. We've done that. Yeah, we haven't done that in a long time, but before the pandemic, we were always in like 2 or 3 mics a night.
For sure.
It was great. Plus, they're like so accessible to each other. So sometimes we wouldn't have to repark to get to the next one.
Just walk over or wherever.
It was just like really, really.
Or even like going to San Francisco to Oakland or vice versa because they're so close.
Exactly. I feel it's weird because I feel like things have been going really well for me in terms of comedy. Yay. So I haven't been miking as hard as I usually do, but pre-pandemic, I knew where all the mics are and you knew where to get places and it was great. But the pandemic really switched up a lot of stuff. So I'm really curious to do like an LA mic run or like a bunch of mics in like San Francisco and see like where it is right now. Because for a while it was kind of like we got 2 mics a week, 3 mics a week, or they were all on Zoom and it was really, really hard to get. And I'm really curious if like LA like is recreating its former glory of like, all right, you can do a few a night, or if it's still a little more limited.
Right, if it's kind of trickling in a little bit.
Yeah,
I think eventually it will be where it was, but I don't know if it is now. Like I haven't really
might take some time. Yeah.
It's hard to gauge right now. It's still this weird limbo. Like you think we're out of
Yeah.
it, and then all of a sudden, like weird stuff starts happening again, and people are getting sick really big again, and you're like, damn it, when?
I know. When is this gonna end, man? It's crazy.
And our jobs are like, hey, how can we get as many people in a room as
Right.
possible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Laughing and breathing on each other. No windows, short ceilings. How can we do that? And it's like, hey, this is probably not the best idea when there's a pandemic going around.
Yeah, I remember one time when I was doing security at my comedy club.
Yeah.
When we first opened up, it was March of 2021, and they had a few comics who weren't like, they were more like Instagram stars than comics, just because it wasn't as easy, you know, at that point to get people. And there's this guy, and he ran out of jokes. I forgot his name. He ran out of jokes, so he started doing like sing along at the end of his set. And I remember when the sing along started, I'm like, I am going outside because, you know, 300 people singing at one at the same time is not going to be good news.
I agree. What's hilarious, I hope everyone's in masks. Just the whole sing along is like, can't like understand it. It's like,
oh my God.
Know, but no one knows.
Nobody wore masks. Nobody ever wears masks.
I got you.
Nobody ever, you know. And then the rules, I mean, the rules for the club are the same as, you know, like a bar or whatever. Like, you know, you have to wear your mask to get to your seat, but once you're at your seat, it's kind of all bets are off.
Yeah.
But if you wear your mask now it's like in this phase that we're in, if you wear a mask, they don't look at you like, oh, you're a sheep, or oh, this or that.
You're almost
it's more of like,
yeah,
don't be such a pussy. Like that's how they look at you now over here wearing masks. It's like, really? Well, I
like how wearing the mask now is like more rebellious than not wearing the mask. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like put on the mask, you're like, whoa, hold on, there, cool guy.
Oh, you're wearing a mask? What a rebel!
Yeah, you listen to Minor Threat, you have to. I bet you do.
So, how long were you living in Northern California?
About a year and a half, give or take. And when I moved back, I really miss it, but I really look at it as a time of my life that was really great, and I'm really grateful for it. I'm really thankful for it. But I don't know if I'm a SoCal guy. I'm born and raised out here. Southern California's home. NorCal is cool, but not for me. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, this interview's over. Goodbye. No, just kidding. That's cool. Did you feel like when you got back to LA that you like were different? Like you stepped up your game a little bit, maybe?
A little bit. So what's interesting is when I came back, I feel like I didn't know who ran shows anymore. So even just being away for a year and a half, all the open mic hosts changed up, all the hosts of the shows changed up. There were new producers. A lot of people stopped doing things. They switched or they took a break. So relearning that was really tough. And I feel like living in NorCal was a really beautiful reset for me. I really was able to, I think sometimes you get in the grind of going to mics and you're just kind of like, all right, mic. And you don't really look at the future. You don't really look at goals you want to accomplish. You're just like, oh, I'm just doing this thing. Where I feel like when I moved back, I was like, well, I can't start over and just start, you know, waiting around for 4 hours for 3 minutes of mic. Like I've done enough. I've done this already. So I think I took myself more seriously when I moved back. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna start booking more stuff, trying to just work a little harder and not have to, you know, redo the past like 4 or 5 years of my career.
Yeah, that's incredible. There's a saying in wrestling where they say you can't see the forest amongst the trees.
Yes.
So sometimes you just gotta take that step back and just kind of look at it. You know, you looked at LA from Northern California, you know, and you kind of reassessed it and you went back and changed it up a little bit. That's awesome.
For sure. I also feel like what's interesting is San Francisco especially had a lot more. I feel like there's more of a type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like LA, everyone's doing something different. It's like I'm doing a character act, I'm doing impressions, I'm gonna do prop comedy, I'm gonna do one-liners, I'm gonna storytell. And I really liked being in a scene where everyone kind of had like by no means a similar tone, but kind of like a similar style. You know what I mean? Like everyone was very witty, a little more raw. And I just thought it was really interesting to look at comedy from that new way. Because before it was hard to like look at to see what stand-up was. Because in LA, a lot of people were doing different things. Where out there, I feel it was my first place living in a while, being in a scene for a while outside of LA. So it's cool to be like, oh, okay, everyone here, you know, they have like more of an edge to them. Or everyone here, they're more smart. You know what I mean? Everyone here plays more witty. And I liked that about the Bay Area. So I was like, okay, what's like my what's my thing? You know what I mean? Where am I going to go with instead of just trying a million things every time I do something different?
Yeah, I think for the most part, people in San Francisco are just kind of get better and just kind of just do it, and then people in LA are more like trying to get noticed, maybe.
For sure, yeah. It's like, oh, my agent told me to do this, or
I gotta dress up like a lobster when I do my set or something.
exactly. Like, how can I stand out? Sometimes it's not about the jokes. So I'm like, oh, I don't know if I agree with that. But every scene has a little bit of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would dress as a lobster.
You would dress as a lobster?
I would.
Well, that's very shellfish of you.
Oh. Well,
hey. Yeah, I like it. That was a good snapback.
Hell yeah! I was already thinking about using that somehow, and she kind of set me up for it. So whatever, it happens.
Now,
it happens when you're married
to the podcast right now. It won't get better than this. It'll be peak.
Woo!
That's how when you're married to a comic,
Yeah.
So, when did you start like traveling around? Because I know you're doing a lot of shows and you're leaving LA a lot now, and you're kind of out there in the world.
Pretty much been more or less full time on the road since probably about 2017, I would say 2018 maybe. Prior to that, I it took a while because I would go on the road here and there. I would go somewhere and host a club for like break even money, and then come back. Or I would like be in an area just randomly like visiting family, and I'd like try to get a guest set somewhere, or do some mics, or do some book stuff somewhere. And I feel like once after a few years of kind of like knowing I got a thing here, I got a thing there, I got a thing there, I was able to connect stuff. So instead of going out and making X amount of money, oh, well, a year ago I worked a bar show and they gave me some cash to do a thing. And then I worked another thing and I taught an improv workshop here. So slowly starting to do it and then being able to like piece together the puzzle of like, oh, well, I know if I'm in Spokane, I can get this, this, and this, opposed to I just know one thing. It was a really good feeling, and it's fun to put together that puzzle. It's fun to go out on the road and be like, instead of just flying out for this and flying back, what else could I do? I'm already out here. I want to make the most of my time. What else can I do? And I think that's a really fun part.
That's incredible. That's a good way to look at it too, because you could just do your shot, be happy with it, and go home.
Yeah, but I want to make the most about it, and I'm also like, I'm a big like theme park guy. So if I can like write off a theme park or something when I go to a club out of state, like that's really fun. I get a tattoo every state I go to. So I feel like whenever you go and hang out with a tattoo artist for 2 hours, 3 hours, you get a good lay of the land. And I think tattoo artists are like the best people. Tattooers or bartenders are the best people to tell you like, oh, like you want good food? Go here, here, and here. Oh, you like museums? All right, here's a good spot. You just talk to them for an hour. You know what I mean? You're just there sitting in a chair while they're working on you. So I always try to get a tattoo if it's a new state early in the trip, so I can like pick their brain and be like, all right, what's the best barbecue I can get? What's the best, budget meal I can get? What's the coolest place to visit? What's the weirdest bar?
Wow.
That is so smart.
I love karaoke.
Yeah, because they know.
They know.
But also, yay, tattoos.
Also, yay, tattoos. And yay,
good cheap food. Yeah. Are you guys tattoo people? Do you guys have some?
I don't have any tattoos at all. I have a joke about that.
Start.
I love tattoos. I have one tattoo, but I want so many. Oh my God, I love tattoos so much.
I feel like as soon as you get a tattoo, you never see the tattoo. You just look at all the places around it that aren't filled. You know what I mean? You're never like, oh, I got this.
I got some skin right there.
See, I have mine on my wrist, right? And all I see is this one has nothing on it.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
I hear that's a painful place too on the wrist because you've got veins right there.
A lot of nerves. Yeah. The wrist and the hand have a lot of nerve endings, so it feels like extra spicy in there. I hate getting tattooed. I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
You hate the process?
I hate the process, but I love when you get the tattoo and you're like, here's a beautiful thing on me. I'm gonna remember this forever. Like, here's a permanent memory. Like, it's great.
I mean, it's a lot easier if you just get some Sharpies.
Oh my goodness.
It's true. Then you got to reapply it every day, wake up early.
That's true.
It's a whole process.
What are a couple of your favorite ones that you got going to some different states?
Yeah.
Ooh, good question. So actually it's kind of crazy. I have this dinosaur on me. I have a Triceratops right here. You guys can see it?
On your shoulder. Yeah, on your shoulder.
Love it.
And it's done in a style, I've always called it, or heard it called a Haida, which is sort of like a Pacific Northwest, Southern Canada native style. And there's a lot of beautiful imagery and a lot of beautiful animals they do in this art style. But I really love dinosaurs. Yeah, so I was like, oh, can I get like a dinosaur, but in this version to honor my time when I was up there? And they're like, yeah, sure. So that's one of my favorites. I also have, I don't know if I can show it. It's on my leg. I have a sloth wizard.
Do you say a sloth wizard?
Yeah, I love sloths.
Nice.
I love wizards. Sloth wizard. And then right over here, here's a what's he called? A Yeti. Here's a Yeti from a ride called Expedition Everest in Florida at Disney World. It's my favorite Disney ride, so I got that tattooed. I'm also a big Bigfoot guy. But if we were to talk about it, this could be the whole podcast. Every tattoo is like a child. Some are definitely more annoying and not as nice, but they're still so you'll love them all. You'll love them all.
I don't know if you want to talk about it, but do you have a least favorite one?
Ooh, a least favorite tattoo. Good question.
That tattoo artist is like, you would fuck that guy, man. I worked hard.
I gave you an out though. I said I don't know if you want to talk about it because I don't want you to hurt anybody's feelings.
So what's weird is I wouldn't say this is my least favorite tattoo. And I got it from an incredible tattoo artist who it wasn't his fault at all because the design was great, but I think I just didn't take care of it and it got infected. So it looks kind of like a blob. But it's cool because it's like an angry like wrestling mask, and I feel like it's gonna be kind of hard to show, but I feel like the infection kind of made it more like tough. Now it's like a zombie wrestler. Wow. So it's not my favorite tattoo. It's just the one that was the most unfortunately messed with. Not the artist's fault, my fault. And I kind of like it because now it's like an angry luchador instead of just a regular luchador mask.
Wow, where's that one?
It is. I'm gonna try to show it. It's
this back of your arm.
Oh,
wow, nice.
It's the Lucha Underground logo.
That is so cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like an angrier version of that.
Nice. That's cool. You got the logo just because of the memory, right?
You know what? I get a Friday the 13th tattoo every Friday the 13th. I can get it. Oh, and I remember I went to one and I was like, well, where's your flash sheet? What can I choose from? He's like, I'll do whatever you want. And I'm like, oh, this never happens. Usually Friday the 13th, it's like, we're only doing these 5 tattoos or this sheet.
Oh, okay, specials, right? Yeah.
For a mask? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh, cool, let's do it.
Fuck yeah. Friday the 13th, by the way, is my favorite day. It is my favorite day. I love Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's
do we have one this year? I feel like we might not have one this year.
I thought it passed already.
It may have already happened. All right. Because sometimes we have like 3 or 4 and it's like 0.
Yeah, sometimes there's quite a few in a single year. Yeah. That is pretty crazy.
I love it.
What are your some of your best Friday the 13th memories? Do you do anything special?
Ooh, you know what? My first tattoo was a Friday the 13th tattoo.
Oh, wow.
So I would say that's my biggest Friday the 13th memory. I got like a little rocket, has 13 on it. Still have it on me. That was the first tattoo I ever got.
Oh,
so yeah.
So cool.
How old were you when you got your first tattoo?
Later in life. I want to say it was probably like, maybe 24.
Okay, that's a baby later in life.
But you know what? Some people are like, I started getting tattoos at 14. And
yeah,
like, no, you're right. It's like, give me back my wallet.
Dang, 14.
Wow. I feel like a lot of people either get their first tattoo at like 18 or 21.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's probably true.
One of the big like my first tattoo years.
So when you're a road comic, you're doing really good. The pandemic happens. Like, how does that affect you?
I did a lot of Zoom shows. A lot of people were like, "No, we're not going to do them. This is dumb."
Yeah,
I did them. I don't think they were super fun. I wouldn't say they were highlights of my comedy life, but I did a bunch. And what I loved about it is being in the pandemic, going from being on the road so much to being to having to deal with being stuck at home. It was very jolting, almost like traumatic. Like you go from literal nonstop travel and work to I don't know what to do with myself. And I did a lot of Zoom shows that filled the time. You know what I mean? I was able to do, a 7 o'clock Zoom show in India or whatever. And then at 10 o'clock do one, in the UK. And then at noon, there's one on the East Coast, and then do a couple at night that are, out here. It was so cool to be able to tune in pretty much at any time and find a mic.
Yeah.
And I was really grateful I was really grateful for the online comedy community to do that. A lot of people were against it, and I get it, but for me, it helped pass the time, so I'm grateful.
That's cool. It's crazy because we talked about, I mentioned earlier about scenes and like not meeting people in the scenes. Zoom was kind of a scene, like a little bit of a melting pot, everybody from everywhere. And I was doing a ton, and you were sounding like you were doing a lot too. I'm surprised that we didn't really cross paths on Zoom.
Yeah.
Interesting. What were the ones that you were doing a lot of? Do you remember some of the ones that you were hitting?
This is going to be a disaster. I was doing a lot. The pandemic. We were running on one. We still have a Friday night open mic on Zoom that's been going for over 2 years.
Nice.
But I was getting on everything I could get on, just whatever. Yeah. Whoever was having Zoom shows, I would emailing people like, let me get on your show, let me get on your show, let me get on your show.
And then we were also like producing international showcases on Zoom.
Yeah. So we were doing this thing called the Hypothetical World Tour, where it's all comics in Germany, right? And it's in English, but all the comics are in Germany, or then all the comics are in Hong Kong, or all the comics are in Malaysia. And we did about 10 of those. That was really fun.
Wow. What was the wildest Zoom show internationally? Was it the Germans? Was it the Malaysians?
Well, I think as far as like that kind of blew my mind was we did a Slovenia show.
Okay.
And their humor is very like kind of dark and just I don't know, I want to say brooding a little bit. I don't really know how to describe it, but I was a little bit kind of like taken aback by them. It was fun though. It was a lot of fun. It was just different from what I was used to.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of mics through this group in South Africa, and I didn't realize South Africans love puns. They are all about the puns. Like every joke is like, not every joke, we hear a lot of pun-based jokes, which I feel like we don't get too much here in the States. Like some people do them, but they're not like popular. But out there, it was like boom, boom, and they were good puns. And I was like, this is so random. Like, I love puns, but we don't get them like you guys get them. Y'all are killing it. This is wonderful.
Wow. We did a Hong Kong show, and I don't know how we did it, but we timed it good enough to where this comic literally physically went on stage with his phone, and he did both the shows at the same time, like an in-person show and a Zoom show.
I love that.
Yeah.
I used to run an open mic in Gardena. We're still kind of on and off, but I would always have a guest host run it for me when I was on the road, but I would call in. So I would do like a FaceTime set from where I was on the road and on the open mic as like a dual set. And then I'd be like, thanks guys, and then leave. And I always thought that was like such a fun, weird, it's just great. I loved it. I've only done it a handful of times, but it's so fun.
Nice. Hey, speaking of calling in, one time when I was doing back to security, comedy club security, we had Darnell Rawlings on from the Dave Chappelle show.
Yeah.
And he was there for the weekend, whatever. But one specific night, he was on stage and he goes, "Oh, hey, you guys, hold on a second. Dave Chappelle's calling me." And he pulls his phone out and he puts it on speakerphone and he puts up to the microphone and he's like, "Hey, Dave, what's up? I'm on stage right now." And Dave Chappelle says, "Tell your audience, this is the cheapest they're ever going to hear me."
That's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, it was great. He just reminded me of that. That's cool though. I mean, the Zooms really did keep us going and things like that. And then for somebody like you, because I know a lot of the road comics, the bigger name comics that were grinding really hard, like before the pandemic, like their livelihood was kind of gone and a lot of things. I'm glad to see that you were thriving a lot.
It worked out. A couple things that really saved me is the Actors Fund and Comedy Gives Back. They both ran a couple of grants, and it was a little bit of money to help you through that really hard time where it's like I'm losing a weekend of work. You know what I mean? On a flight that I already paid for, and it was kind of crazy. So they really helped. And then it was wild because I was able to do a few corporate shows and I think 1 or 2 college shows, and there were even a couple clubs, a couple one-nighters that would actually give you a similar rate to do something over Zoom.
Oh, that's
the same as in person. And it's wild because if I were to do a college somewhere far out, it's great money, but once you factor in your flight, maybe a hotel, maybe a rental car, it's, you're losing a lot of that. But now they're paying the same rate to do it online, so you almost get like double paid. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, I didn't have to like pay for a flight, or I didn't have to pay for a car, or I didn't have to pay for gas. So it was interesting because there were some ways throughout the pandemic where Zoom was almost better than doing live shows, just for a financial standpoint.
Wow, that's incredible. I wish I was hanging out with you on the Zooms and get on some of those shows.
Oh my goodness.
Do it.
I
I'll
just
give you I'll give you 20%. That's about 45 cents of my rate. I'm pretty sure that's about that rate.
Nice.
I really enjoyed how the pandemic, and I said this before and I say it a lot, but I really enjoyed watching people still put in effort. Like they started creating different ways of putting their comedy out. They started venturing into side hustles that were really super creative, like creating EPKs for other comedians, doing web design and graphic art. I really think that a lot of comics, some of them had a really difficult time, and that's the end of the story. But some of them really rose to the challenge, and that was so inspiring for me personally to see.
Yeah.
Well, look at Andrew Schultz. He was huge pre-pandemic. He was great, but the pandemic really he just took a hold of it, and it really launched him into another thing. I think a lot of comics end up experimenting more. Like I feel like in LA, every show you go to, every mic you go to, there's a producer in the audience, someone runs something in the audience. So we always want to do well. So a lot of people in LA, they're phenomenal comics, but you know it works. Where over Zoom, you're gonna bomb if you kill, you're gonna bomb if you bomb. You know what I mean? Just like you're dead, you can't see anyone, you can't hear anyone. So I might as well try to get like weird and more creative. Like I feel like I gained an extra, let's call it 20 minutes over the pandemic era. Prior to that, I probably had 20, 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So in 10 years, I wrote, let's call it like an okay 30. But over the pandemic, I could generate brand new material because I felt like I could write more, and I felt like I could do more and try more things out over Zoom because you're gonna like me or hate me, and you know what? Y'all live in Germany. You're never gonna see me again. This mic is being run out of Maine. Who do I know in Maine? I don't know. Where out here, I was so much more protective of like my set and how I had to do well. I couldn't get weird. I had to do well.
Yeah, people did experiment a lot more, and you could experiment with your material like you did, or you could also experiment with shows like people did as well. And then even in venues experimented by doing shows outside or on the roof or weird things like that as well.
And that's a different vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It was a crazy time for all of us.
It was. We made it. We're through it, sort of ish. Kind of.
What was it like for you? Like I guess what was the time frame that it lifted for you? Because it lifted for all of us kind of a different times. There's people who I was only locked down for 3 months and I was back to doing comedy or whatever. Like, what was it like for you?
I want to say I'm actually looking at my calendar right now. I did a run in I want to say it was like not Baltimore, Maryland, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. And that was, you know what? So at the end of 2020, I started getting a lot more road work and kind of like small places, kind of like not small places, but places that would open up first. So like
trying,
like more not major cities in Arizona, not major cities in Florida, but I want to say things really got serious probably around mid 2021.
Okay, yeah.
Around May. Yeah. Started going to the East Coast around then. I did Little Rock. Started going to Arizona a lot more. Started going to Washington, Oregon a lot more. So yeah, I would say probably right around mid 2021 or even early 2021 things started getting better. But probably April, May is when things started getting like every weekend, like I'm doing something. You know what I mean?
Oh, good.
Yeah, and that was around the time that like WrestleMania had people there and sporting events started kind of having people around and things like that. So yeah, early to mid 2021 is kind of when it opened ish.
For sure. I remember that. I remember it was a big thing because they still have the Thunderdome in WWE, but AEW would have like pockets, remember? Like you could buy like a bunch of seats, but then no one could be around you. And then like 2 rows down, there'd be another bunch of seats, like a cluster. And there were just like little chunks of people in all the AEW shows.
Yeah, that was neat. And then like NXT would have students in the audience.
Yeah, students or like wrestlers who aren't doing anything.
Yeah. Those were really cool. I really liked the Thunderdome concept. It was really visually like really neat, visually.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was super fun.
Yeah.
I feel like it was fun, but then you realized everything was being sort of like pre-taped. You know what I mean? It wasn't organic. They'd be like, "Hey, everyone cheer," and everyone cheer, everyone boo, and they're just plugging in what they want to plug in. I feel like as soon as that kind of like made its way to like the verse, and I was like, I feel like I'm just getting told what to feel.
Well, they tried to. Did you ever go to it? Did you ever attend via
You
Thunderdome?
know what? I think I tried and I couldn't get in. I could like never
Oh.
score the tickets. Yeah.
I got in once, but I ended up having to work and I couldn't go. Like I was really
Oh,
disappointed. So I was able to get it once, but I didn't go. They really did try, as far as I know, in the beginning to make it a live fan experience, But then people were like putting Crispin Wall in their square, and I think some people even put like a KKK and like there was
Kenny
like a few.
Omega, I knew like tuned into one, and it was like a big like oh.
Yeah, yeah. So the fans kind of ruined that for all of us. Some of the
Not
bad
surprising.
ones.
Wrestling fans are an annoying bunch.
Yeah, no, they really are. I always tell her
As
I
a
hate
wrestling
wrestling
fan, I'm like,
fans. I
we
hate
suck.
wrestling fans so much.
Yeah.
I really do. Hell yeah. So out in LA, are you doing any acting? I know you're doing a few things, right?
Yeah. Last couple of years, I've done a lot of game shows, which has
You know,
been
I
real.
saw that. I was
A lot
actually
of-
I was watching, I was getting ready to watch like Raw or something, or I think it was AEW, and I saw this game show on with Jay Leno. And
life. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, oh, this is interesting, but I just saw like the just the tail end of it, and I started
Yeah.
looking up on social media, and I was just kind of scrolling, and I go, is that Erik Escobar? No, I'm being racist. That's just some bald Mexican dude. And then I go, wait a minute,
I'm
holy
every bald
shit.
Mexican guy. It's weird because I never thought game shows would be like my thing. Like I love game shows; they're cool, but it's just worked out that I've been on a ton in like last couple of years. Getting a lot more commercial work, which I'm really grateful for. A lot of commercials. You're looking at the new face of Hims erectile dysfunction.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
ladies, and what's great about it is I got to write a bit on this. I feel like once or twice a week when it was big, like it was like once, twice a day. But even to say once, twice a week, people will message me and they'll be like, Erik, is this you in this ED commercial? And I'll be like, yeah, but why are you getting targeted for an ED medication? Like, this isn't a commercial for everyone. You got to be searching something for this to come up. And interesting. I don't judge. I don't
I don't know.
judge.
We get the Hims and the Hers commercials all the time.
Oh
There you go. There you go.
All the
But I'm like,
time.
oh, are you like looking up something and that's why I'm on your screen right now?
Yeah. Actually, we're just watching TV and the YouTube commercial came on.
You're like, what?
Sam, I'm like, these Hims commercials are for ED, and the Hers commercials are for like depression pills.
I know, right? Well, when you get ED, you do get depression. So I will say they're
interchangeable.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. So yeah, I guess it is for depression for men too.
Oh, it's like
Exactly.
the reverse, huh? For men, it's like the ED and then depression, and the women it's the depression and then you don't want to go.
Yeah. Men are from Mars, women Venus.
Hell yeah.
Something like that. Something like that. What game shows have you been on?
I was on You Bet Your Life. I was most recently on Person, Place, or Thing. I did one called People Puzzler that I really liked a lot.
Ooh.
What else have I been on? Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady.
Oh, that's cool. Were you on it
really
in person?
In person, yeah.
Oh,
One of my comedy buddies was on it virtually, I guess, during the pandemic.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they actually had ours was kind of 50-50. It was like 6 people in the room and then like 6 people like tuning in, and they would like choose different people.
Okay.
So that was really fun. What else have I been on? I've been on a couple other things. But yeah, just a bunch of stuff, and it's been really, really cool. And it's like one of my favorite things. Like game shows, there's such like high pressure, high energy, like let's go, let's have a good time. And it's such a rush. I love
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I know I grow up still to this day, watching game shows and like, imagining I'm on it as I'm watching it, playing along or whatever. And to be honest, I'm sure it's incredible.
Well, it's funny because when you're watching it on the TV, you're like, this is the answer. Why are you being so dumb? Just guess it. It's the answer. It's the answer. But when you're there, it's even if you're like not under pressure, it's like tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not relaxed on your couch, you know what I mean, hanging out. You're like in there, like in the zone, and
The
it's
lights are on you, and everybody's looking at
lights are
you,
on you,
and
you have people around
cameras.
you, people are watching you, you know, it's like,
Yeah,
oh
makeup
geez.
sweating down your face.
Exactly.
What is I don't know if you can talk about it, but what's some of the coolest shit that you won on a game show?
Ooh, what is the coolest? I've gotten a lot of cash prizes, which have been pretty fun. I think one of the most exciting things is me and my wonderful fiance. We got engaged, moved in together, and we really didn't have a ton of stuff in our house. Like we just moved in to this little townhome. It's great. We don't have a lot of things, and I remember getting on the show called Purpose and Place or Thing. They gave us some Cuisinart stuff, but I was like so in the moment, I didn't realize what it was, but they gave us a coffee maker, which we super need, and like a bread mixer, like the bowl, a mixing bowl, like a
Okay, yeah, those are awesome.
and it's like I would have never bought one of those. You know what I mean? We just don't have money to be spending it on like mixing bowls. Like, no, let's spend it on something else. But to get one from a game show was like, oh, this is something that I always use, never would have thought I used, and we totally need. This is cool.
That's awesome.
That is really awesome.
Yeah, we love our coffee maker too. It
Yeah.
grinds beans.
Yeah, we have a Cuisinart coffee maker too, and it has a bean grinder on it.
They're the best. Also, I won a year's worth of People magazine.
Oh,
hell yeah.
I thought you were gonna say a rice-a-roni or something.
No, for sure.
That's cool though. People's magazine, huh?
So that was a thing. Yeah, fun fact. Give it to my mom.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I would probably give it to somebody else too. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
My hack is what I do is I when I get one and it's like within the last week or 2 weeks. When I fly, I'll bring it with me and I'll give it to the flight attendants.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they always want something to read or something to do. So if you give it to them, and they usually like hook it up. You know what I mean? So not every time they're like, oh yeah, thanks. You want a free shot? I'm like, yes, I would love a free shot, please.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes they'll hook it up and you're nice to them, and I feel like People magazines are things they can stroll through it. They're not going to buy Wi-Fi, for their whole flight or whatever. So that's kind of what I do with them.
That's cool. Nice. And then you have a really like a fun and like just a fun bubbly personality. So I'm sure people are happy to like, hey, yeah, I'll hang out with you, I'll have a shot with you or whatever.
For sure. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I'm always just one of those people where it's like, I can talk to someone on a flight. Like, I'm not going to force it, but that'll let it go by way faster than just sitting there for 4 hours. So they're a good vibe, and they put out vibes. It's like, yeah, let's chat for a minute. I've met some of my best friends at like airport bars. You know what I mean? Like, we're hanging
so you mentioned getting engaged. Excuse me. How long have you been engaged? When did you get engaged?
Since March 20.
Oh, so, nice. Congratulations.
June, July, August, September. Yeah, there you go. About 7 months.
About half a year. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. She's the best friend, best partner. I love her so much. She's great.
Aww, nice. Same.
Nice. Oh yeah, you love her too?
Yeah, I love her.
Oh, she loves her. She loves her too, apparently. So that's good. You got that going for you.
It's great. It's wonderful. It's just weird because I feel like it's an odd place to be in, because I talk about this all the time. I think it's so interesting. But 8 years ago, the only thing I wanted, the thing I was working so hard towards, the thing I was just putting all of my effort into was comedy. Like, I just wanted to be on the road doing comedy. I didn't care what it took. If I could be traveling every moment of my life, performing comedy in a different area every night, that's all I wanted. That was the best. And I'm so grateful that a lot of work has paid off to where that's been my life. And I've been able to pretty much travel nonstop, go to places that I want to go, headline these fun clubs, headline these fun theaters, meet amazing people. But now I'm engaged, and I just want to be at home and hanging out with her. It's so annoying that I finally I'm doing the thing I want to do in my life. And now I'm like on the road somewhere cool in like New York, and I'm going to be at a club, and it's going to be great. I'm going to get drinks. And I'm like, I was like, I wish I was eating just like shitty pizza with Ani, watching like a scary movie at home. You know what I mean? It's so like, so it's finding that balance. So the road's been really great to me, and I'm hustling really hard to get more dates. But 2023, I think I'm going to try to find that balance a little more. Instead of being out every weekend or out for 2-3 weeks at a time, maybe be out for 2 weeks and then spend 2 weeks at home. Or maybe, do weekends. Like, I can spend 3 weekends out on the road as long as they're not like connected. I can be home Monday through Wednesday. You know what I mean? Nice. So it's kind of where I am. It's weird to grow up. I hate growing up. It's very strange.
Yeah. Falling
in love is the worst.
you do have a lot of dates and stuff. You are a lot. You're everywhere all the time. I've seen that, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's everywhere. So yeah, that is good that you're gonna kind of come up with more of a balance and just kind of balance your home life with your comedy life.
A lot of people aren't cognizant of those things. Like they'll be like, well, I guess this is how my life's gonna be
Yeah, it's
from
like,
now on. But you're like, no, I want something better.
deal with it, woman, or whatever. But
Well,
yeah,
what's
so that's
interesting is
awesome.
like comedy still brings me so much joy. You know what I mean? It's still like the most amazing. It's so great.
Yeah.
It's so great. I love it. But we're looking forward in terms of like if we have kids, I like you book shows out. A lot of people don't know this. You book shows out a year to 18 months in advance. Like I have stuff in my calendar for 2024 just because
Wow.
they're like we're booked until 2024. Like if you want to work with us then we can do it, but sorry we have nothing open until then. Maybe something drops getting earlier, but because they book out so far out, like if we have kids or if she ends up getting pregnant in the next year or something after we get married, like I'm not going to be, I don't want to be on the road all the time while she's at home with our baby. You know what I mean? Like I gotta be home. I want to be
Yeah.
with my kid. I gotta take care of my kid. But if I'm looking at bookings, it's like, will we have a baby in 18 months when this gig happens, or will I be on the road? And it's this weird game of being like, what you have to plan out so far ahead just for $500 to headline a chuckle factory hut in the middle of Georgia. Like, all right, all right, cool.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, like, because you're booking so far ahead that you don't even know what your personal future is going to be like, as low as, and you're trying to line the two up.
It's funny how often you hear comics be like, well, you know what, I booked this TV show and it's so great, but oh man, I have to cancel a weekend at the Laugh Chuckle Palace in Detroit. And it's like, dude, you're getting paid 50 grand for a TV show and you're like worried about like ruining a relationship to feature for $300 on a Thursday. But that's where our minds go. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
we're doing this for the comedy. Like as much as we love the acting and what we can do to like help out the comedy, we're doing it for the comedy. So it's like, no, I don't know if I want to sign this development deal with SNL because I'm doing an MC weekend next week. And it's like,
But then
I feel that though. I feel
get it.
that.
That's me.
Yeah.
I've turned down work where I'm like, I just have to turn it down for just, a little $20 gig or whatever.
priorities, like what's more important to you? Are you trying to do comedy? Are you trying to do acting or whatever? I guess at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. What are some of the craziest places, or I guess most fun places you've been to for comedy?
I just got back from Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh wow,
Alaska
that's
was
cool.
cute. I loved Alaska. Shout out to Kill Cute Charlie's. It's like 6 bars under one roof, and they have this beautiful stage in the middle. I loved Alaska. That was really fun. I'm a big food guy. I love to eat. So anywhere I can get like somewhere like sometimes I will look at a club booking that I have 6 months down the line and I will Google all like the fun restaurants around the comedy condo and then be like, what am I going to get for lunch on Saturday? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm excited about. Or I'll Google like the comedy club menu and be like, you guys have a green chili burger? Ooh, I'm ordering that early show Thursday. So
You plan your whole weekend.
exactly, just around the food. So like the South, just you can't go wrong with good barbecue, good banana pudding, stuff like that. I'm a big fan of, just I love Southern cooking, so that's really great for me. And I guess they're like weird, fun, cool places. You know what? Talking about the South, had a great time in Kentucky. I worked
Oh,
I worked in Louisville, and it's just straight best fried chicken I've ever had. Great fried chicken, it's amazing. And they also have really good spoon bread. It's like a cornbread, but it's also kind of custardy. And I remember being like, Kentucky's cool. I didn't think I would have a great time, but I walked out of there being like, there was delicious food, great people, good bourbon, 10 out of 10.
Wow.
interesting. That's
I love
cool.
that. That's what I want to do. That's like my biggest that's my biggest thing about travel is like I want to travel and eat different
I want to
places.
eat everywhere. The
Yeah.
most heartbreaking thing for me is when I get back from somewhere and someone is like, oh, did you try the whatever? And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh yeah, they're known for their like pastrami burger. You have to try it. And I'm like, well, I'm back now. I didn't know. Thanks. I had no idea.
Yeah, definitely. I guess one thing I wanted one thing I wanted to ask you too is if you can manifest a couple of things, what do you want to do? Like, who do you want to work with? What are some things that you want to like achieve and accomplish?
Oh, good question. I guess went with David Lynch. It's like Eraserhead, Twin Peaks, stuff like that. David Lynch has always been like I've always been a big fan of his. So to collaborate on him with something in the future, I think would be really, really cool. I've always had this weird dream of having David Lynch do my first comedy special, direct my first comedy
Oh,
special,
wow.
which is something he would probably never want to do. But
Yeah, yeah, that's
I
probably true.
would love that. So to work with him one day would be incredible. Tim and Erik were always really big for me. Tim and Erik Awesome Show, Tim Heidecker, Eric Wareheim.
Yeah.
Adult Swim was really big for me. So to one day work in the Adult Swim world or collab with Tim and Erik or Tim or Erik would be great. And one of my favorite comics of all time has always been Steve Martin. So to work with Steve Martin in some capacity is always been a dream of mine. As a big Disney fan, I've always wanted to be in something Disney. And the world is bigger now. They have, Marvel. They have maybe something on National Geographic. I don't know, but to be in a Disney movie or a Disney project has always been a big dream of mine.
Wonderful.
And kind of like I said earlier, I get a tattoo every state I go to. So to get 50 tattoos from 50 states would be a dream. I'm over halfway there. So in the next, hopefully 5 to 10 years, making all those things a possibility are definitely kind of what I'm working towards, kind of towards what I'm manifesting, trying to put what I would achieve.
That would be a dope vlog.
Yeah.
Your last tattoos, your remaining tattoos.
Oh yeah. That would be incredible.
All of those are fucking awesome. I really hope you get either achieve them or close to or better.
I agree. I hope I work with Tim and Erik's sons. Just not them. More creative, wonderful children.
Or you could just find some other guy named Tim and you could just be the new Tim and Erik.
I'll find it. That'd be great.
Tim and Erik with
the
a K.
Lawsuit becomes a whole thing. They stream it on Adult Swim. It'll be great.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
You kind of glossed over in the beginning. I wanted to ask you though, what did you do with Lucha Underground and Women of Wrestling?
I was a production assistant for both. There were small roles, nothing crazy, but I loved my role, especially in Lucha Underground, because for a while I was the official blood wiper. My job is between matches. If they bled, I would go in the ring, spray it with hydrogen peroxide, wipe it down till it was good enough for the cameras, get out of there, and that was my job.
Oh my god. That is like, okay, as much as I love wrestling, when they're bleeding all over the mat, I'm always like, oh, they're rolling in the blood. They're rolling in the blood.
And you know who takes care of that? This guy. So, dream job.
For your service. Oh my god.
Oh wow, that's incredible though. Did you get to meet a lot of celebrities and a lot of wrestlers doing that?
It was I definitely got to work with some people who, as a wrestling nerd, I thought were really cool at the time, but now they're like blowing up. Like people like Sammy Guevara. I remember when he was doing a lot of stuff, and now he's obviously an AEW superstar, not superstar, a wrestler.
Yeah.
Who else was in there? Jeff Cobb.
Yeah, actually, sorry to interrupt you. Sammy Guevara is a sports entertainer.
He's a sport. See what you did there. I love it. Jeff Cobb. Karrion Kross was a character for a while.
He's so dope.
Thunder Rosa. You know what I mean? Like people who at the time are incredible and amazing, but now they're super huge on AEW.
Yeah. It's funny because when we talked about PWG earlier and all those era people are doing big things. Later on, a few years later, all the Lucha Underground people are doing big things now too.
It's true. And I feel like Lucha Underground was so great and so wonderful. I think Bray Wyatt would have been a perfect Lucha Underground edition. He would have been Lucha Underground. He would have been super great. And I'm sad to see it go, but it was really beautiful getting to spend some time on that show.
Yeah. It was also good to have like another new thing. It was a new wrestling thing. So that was fun. A
big company for people to work for. Because I mean, all the big companies died in 2001 besides WWF, WWE. Exactly. And so it is really good when other companies pop up and they stick around for a few years. I mean, they're around for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Well, even Women of Wrestling, I think they were only on Access for a long time, and I believe they have a CBS deal now. So to even see something where it's like an all women's promotion is now getting a little bit of love on the network scale. Like, we're seeing a lot of great stuff happen right now, and I'm so stoked I'm a wrestling fan in this time, in this era.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Do you have any projects coming up?
Ooh, good question. I'm gonna be on the road a lot. So check me out on Instagram at Erik Escobar. You'll see where I'm coming. If you see a date where you're like, hey, I remember hearing this guy, he's going to be in my town, definitely drop a line. Send me a message, tell you heard me on Sam and Dean's podcast. And I'll be like, you know what? You're paying double because he is not a friend. No, he's great. But yeah, if you heard me on Hypothetical, definitely drop a line. I would love to hear that. I'll try to hook it up with something. In terms of TV stuff, just keep an eye out. I'll be posting it. I'll be letting you know. I have some stuff I'm not allowed to talk about. But keep an eye out. Keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Definitely. If you heard Erik on this podcast and he's playing in your town, drop him a line about the best places to eat there. I think he'd appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Love that.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Erik. Thanks for joining us, man. It's been super fun.
I loved it.
Super great to see y'all. Sam, it's been too long. We'll do a show together soon. We'll hang out soon.
Yeah. If I'm ever in your area, I'll let you know. And likewise, if you're ever around here, let me know.
I love y'all. Let's end with a little too sweet. Can we end with a little too sweet?
Hell yeah.
Woo!
There we go. Something like that. A little awkward, but we got it.
That's my whole vibe, baby.
They roam around. It's like they're roaming free range.
Oh, you can't say Roman. And then we are on I'm on Instagram at Funky Sam Medina.
And I'm at She Shines For You.
And everything else we do is at a Hypothetical Comedy. Fuck yeah. Thank you very much, Erik.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Y'all take care. Bye.
All right, bye.